President Trump in his third address to the nation tonight, just short of about an hour and a half. As we watch the interaction here, it comes in the middle of a huge week for the president as he hits his highest approval ratings in Gallup today.
Let me just interrupt. Did you just see how Speaker Nancy Pelosi ripped up the speech right behind the president as he's still there?
Folks, we got a lot of work to do. I don't only need you to get me elected, I need you once I'm elected.
Well, now listen, while we're talking about Tucker Carlson, this will give you a laugh, but it is tragic. This is a bloke, Joe Biden, who could be the next president of the United States and leader of the free world. He is in cognitive decline and barely literate. Here is Tucker Carlson again today.
Barack and I think it's a right for people to have bad health care.
Got that? It's right for people to have bad health care. And if you don't have bad health care soon, Joe Biden will make sure that you do. That's his pledge to you. But giving every American isn't easy. Joe Biden knows that. So he's going to mobilize a pressure campaign to get it done. What kind of campaign to get Joe Biden has thought a lot about it. Here's his solution.
Look, I'll do what he's unable to do. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Joe Biden's going to do that. Donald Trump can't do that. Donald Trump can't even pronounce, but Joe Biden can. Listen again.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Yeah, he'll lead an effective strategy to do that, whatever it is.
Someone suddenly comes forward with an allegation of a long ago sexual impropriety. An impropriety that was not pursued long ago. And on the other hand, you have the city of Biden, sniffing Joe Biden. Documented videos exist of him being too touchy, too often to women. In this city, the allegation of impropriety was reported and a complaint formally registered long ago when he did it. Now wait.
Hundreds of rioters and looters ransacked downtown Chicago early on Monday local time, smashing store windows, stealing goods, and clashing with police officers. Our Kim Jae-hee explains why.
Rioting and looting erupted along one of Chicago's most visited tourist attractions, the Magnificent Mile shopping district and other parts of the city's downtown. Hundreds of people smashed windows, stole from stores, and even exchanged gunfire with the police early on Monday.
Reported for both Election Day and absentee. On the right, we can see the total vote counts, which should only be incremental, moving as the county reported in real time. Again, here we're focusing only on Donald Trump's votes. So this wouldn't necessarily be captured at the state totals as they're reported on TV, since one county's deduction in votes can be offset by another county's reporting of equal or greater votes. The first question you're going to want to ask, or already have asked, is why are any bars going negative? And the answer is they shouldn't. Unbeknownst to the general public, votes for Donald Trump were being switched and removed from his total, which often coincided with other precinct updates that simultaneously offset deductions so that they appeared to remain neutral to outside observers. Across the three counties of Dodge, Daughtry, and Putnam, Trump has over 30,000 votes that simply disappear. Here, we have clear visibility of an event that occurred at the county level as we compare two data sources. In this case, Donald Trump reported 29,391 votes at 9/11 local time in Bibb County, Georgia. Simultaneously, Joe Biden was reported to have 17,218 votes. Minutes later, at the next reported time update from the precinct data sources, Donald Trump is reported to have 17,218 votes, and Biden now has 29,391 votes. A clear and exact switch of vote totals between candidates. Because there is a time lag between each state-reported aggregation of county results, this type of switch can go undetected in state reporting, as long as it falls after the latest state refresh and before the next state update.
According to the Georgia Secretary of State website, Trump lost by 12,670 votes. As you saw earlier in this video, far more than that were taken from President Trump.
Joining us now to talk all about this, Phil Klein, director of the Amistad Project, an election integrity watchdog that's part of the Thomas More Society. It's a conservative law firm. He's also a former Attorney General of Kansas. And Phil, thanks for joining us. You've done a great deal of research. I read your report. Millions of dollars poured into key Democrat swing states. That would include Georgia, by a group that's backed by Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. This appears to be dark money used to try to inflate the turnout vote. Is that illegal?
It should be. And we believe it is not lawful. It's a violation of federal law, the Help America Vote Act, as well as state election plans that are passed by the legislature. In all, what we've got here, Greg, is a shadow government. Zuckerberg actually spent more than the federal government provided in election money to all of the states to operate the general election during COVID. And he provided it through this charity, which dictated how the local officials would run the election. It was Zuckerberg that paid for the machines, Zuckerberg that paid the salaries, Zuckerberg that bought the drop boxes, Zuckerberg employees, essentially, that boarded up the windows and kicked America out of the voting room this time around. America was kicked out and a billionaire was inside.
Are you worried that this will extend into the 2 Senate races in Georgia? Is it already happening?
Yes, it's already happening. They're doing the same thing again and making the same mistakes. These drop boxes, the chain of custody of the ballot, which is vitally important for all elections to maintain that chain of custody to protect the validity of that ballot, was broken with these drop boxes. Georgia law was not followed. They will not be followed. Georgia law will not be followed again. It was a lawless election, one in which we cannot have faith. It should not be certified by state legislatures. And they're doing it again.
Yeah, and your report states that Zuckerberg donated an astonishing $500 million to accomplish this, what I think you described this as an illicit scheme to unduly influence the vote. And isn't it true that he and others were using the COVID crisis as a pretext?
Absolutely. You had blue state governors shutting down in-person election places, claiming COVID was the concern. At the same time, in the urban core, they were expanding the opportunity for turnout of the vote by placing drop boxes. I'll give you one example, Greg. In Pennsylvania, Zuckerberg moneyed areas had a drop box for every 4 square miles and also paid for mobile pickup units for ballots. In the 59 Trump counties, or counties that Trump won in 2016, there was a drop box every 1,159 square miles. So what Pennsylvania created was a 2-tier election system where if you live in a Democrat area, stroll outside, somebody will pick up your ballot. If you're a Republican area, go on a weekend vacation and find Waldo. The same thing happened in Georgia, and it's happening again.
Well, it appears as though Mark Zuckerberg thinks he can buy the presidency. I want to talk to you, though, about the meeting that took place at the White House. I talked to Andy Biggs, Congressman, yesterday, right after the meeting. He was there. Jim Jordan was there. Mo Brooks was there. Matt Gaetz, Louis Gohmert, and so forth. Their plan, apparently, is to come January 6th, when Congress convenes, to challenge the electoral vote tally. Isn't that a bit of a long shot? I mean, that's been tried before in our history. It's never worked. A long shot?
Well, it might be, but this was an unprecedented election. Never before have we had one individual spend more money than the federal government to dictate how elections will be managed at the local level. And government, it's a core function of government to manage these elections. You can't privatize it. We can't have elections brought to you by Coca-Cola or the Koch brothers or Mark Zuckerberg. That is putting your thumb on the scale and buying government offices to run the elections according to private interest dictates. I think all of that and the lawlessness, the admitted lawlessness that occurred everywhere Zuckerberg money touched, the loss of signature requirements, the elimination of witness requirements, the breach in the chain of custody, kicking Republicans out of the polling places, call into question this election. And state legislatures should declare that their states are in dispute as it relates to the election result. And I believe that that kicks it to Congress. And Congress has a role here under the Constitution to exercise their judgment.
Phil Klein. Phil, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.